is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Oregon is headed to the Super Regional. Big Ten champions, your Oregon Ducks.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
And the vibes are high on a Friday here in the Country Financial Studio. Why not? Weather's nice outside. It's warm. The Ducks are in action all over the place in different sports, and a lot of wins are piling up too. Chris Clayton here with you. Happy to have you along with us here on Duck Insider. Our director Scott Phillips, our thanks to Rob Joyce in our OSN studio getting us on the air here. I mean, there's a lot to go over, a lot of scheduling to talk to you about, opportunities to watch baseball, lacrosse, acro and tumbling, and women's basketball here in Eugene this weekend. But Ducks are all over the place, and they're winning games. So we'll start here with Oregon softball. They get the win at the Mary Nutter Classic. They just beat Utah. It finished maybe 20 minutes ago. They beat the Utes 2-0. Now, that's a great win. It's always nice to win, right? But the biggest win, it was really impressive, was the victory over number 5 Tennessee. How about that? I mean, that's a big-time Tennessee program. Made the Super Regional last season. Oregon with a crazy finish to that game. They were able to win it. Just got that single run when it really counted. They did it in the bottom of the 8th. A Kedre Luschar step across the plate. She slid in on a pass ball to get the job done. That's all it takes sometimes, especially the way the Ducks are pitching right now. That's really all you need, right? Just get the run and take care of business. And they continue to do that as Oregon now has back-to-back shutouts, beating Utah just moments ago. But that marquee win yesterday is going to raise some eyebrows around the country, as it should. Oregon currently ranked 19th. Continuing this path, they're going to be on the rise. And Kedre Luschar was the hero on the base pass, sliding in for the winning run. And SID for softball, Greg Walker was able to catch up with Kedre Luschar after the victory. Let's hear from her.
Kedre, just kind of what your coach was talking about, being ready for the moment. You're there on the bench the whole game. You come in as a pinch runner. And how much does that mean to be there and be ready for that moment?
Yeah, I think just always being ready. You never know when you're going to be called on. It could be any point in the game, last out. It could be anything. So just staying ready always.
When you got over to third, were you had you seen some of the pitches get by the catcher? So were you ready, kind of watching for that?
Yeah, I had a feeling that's how I was going to score. It was going to be a pass ball. But yeah, I was ready for anything. And
talk about the team a little bit. Playing a really good team, really tough pitcher. Just how did they keep battling throughout the game?
Yeah, I think we just all knew. We all were in it. None of us had any doubt that we weren't going to win that game. And we all knew we were going to win. So. Yeah.
And then your pitchers, Elise and Lindsay, wow, just talk about them for a second.
Yeah, they're amazing. I don't know how they do it. They're awesome. I look up to them. That was on them. That was all them. So, yeah, super thankful for them.
Terrific.
And you could just hear the confidence that she and this Oregon team has in close games. Well, they won another close game. The Ducks able to beat Utah. They're playing in the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic in California. Well, there's a lot of good teams, and that includes Utah. And Oregon got the job done. Lindsey Grind pitching another terrific game for the Ducks. And the Ducks are on an absolute tear early on this season. Oregon is now 13-1. Their lone loss coming just by a single run, and now they've won 8 in a row. So you're seeing a team that has some young players out on the diamond just getting the job done. So the anticipation, the excitement continuing to mount as this team just plays great softball over the course of this non-conference slate. And that's the thing with some of their new faces and the talent they have. You could see them continuing to rise and ascend as this year goes on. So very exciting for Oregon softball, and they'll be playing once again here to finish off the day on what's a very busy day, as soon they're going to be taking on San Diego State as that game is slated to start probably in the next few minutes. We'll try and keep you up to date on how that one goes there in California. Today is also a big day. Oregon baseball is in action. The Ducks with a series against Rhode Island. Oregon last weekend with a 3-1 series win over Toledo, hoping to build on that today. You see the first pitch, 3:05 p.m. is the time for that one. It'll be Ryan Milano on the call with that one at the pregame show starting at 2:45 p.m. pretty soon after the conclusion of our show. So a great opportunity this weekend to take in the Ducks if you can make it out to PK Park, as the weather should be pretty nice and hopefully the rain holds off and you'll get a great opportunity to take in the Ducks there at PK Park. And by the way, those in the Oregon Logging Conference is taking place this weekend in Eugene. You get discounted concessions. If you're part of that conference, you show your conference ID after you buy your ticket, and you get discounted concessions. So an opportunity for those in town for the logging conference as well. Oregon baseball is feeling good. They're ready to go, and they caught up with the media earlier this week. Jeff Hurd spoke with the media about the Ducks preparing for the matchup with Rhode Island.
I feel like you did for the first series.
Good. I think swung it well, and I think the team performance was good. Obviously, we got some work to do. I feel like we dropped a game that we shouldn't have there, but I kind of like the foundation we set in week 1 and looking forward to week 2 coming up.
Yeah, Waz made it pretty clear he thought offensively there was some things you could execute better. He made a point of not getting specific with us, but is that the tone he's setting? Are they really asking you to set the bar higher this week?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're a team that wants to go to Omaha and make it farther than Oregon's made it, and to do that, we got to do things that we've never done before. So we're still looking to improve on some things for sure.
What does it feel like for you opening weekend? It felt like you were stinging the ball, especially in the first few games, and about 3 or 4 hits were taken away by diving plays. Just take me into your mentality over the weekend when you're swinging it well, but they're just not falling.
Yeah, I mean, that's just baseball, man. You know, they're going to make plays sometimes they're not. The game kind of evens itself out, has a way of doing that, so I'm not too stressed about it. I'm sure I'll get some fisted knocks coming up or some things off the end that'll fall, so, I mean, I just kind of take them as they come.
Did that make the home run feel a little bit more validating, getting it over the wall? Defense can't get it then.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely felt better. Yeah.
What are some of your goals going into Rhode Island?
Just win all 4 games, whatever it takes to win those. It's pretty simple, yeah.
What are some of your off-season goals heading into the year?
One was just, stay healthy, stay on the field. And then another one was, I kind of touched on it earlier, and it sounds like a broken record now, but just getting this team to Omaha and doing whatever I can to help that, whether it's in the outfield, at the plate, on the bases, whatever I got to do.
Well, it's called you. I think after maybe Friday's game, one of the toughest outs in the lineup. Just how do you kind of try to take that on and do that every single game?
It's nice to hear for sure, but at the end of the day, I still got to go out there and prove it. Just because you love when the coaches kind of hype you up and tell people about you, but if you don't go out on the field and perform, it really doesn't mean much. So I still got to go out there and live up to what he's saying for sure.
What do you think makes this lineup so dangerous at any point of the year?
I think a big thing we have is experience going for us. I think most, if not all, of our lineup is coming back and played here last year. So I think a big thing is we've built a lot of chemistry over the last 365 days, and we kind of know what we're getting out of each other. We know how to push each other in the weight room and in practice and all that. So I think we've got a good group of guys, and we're a pretty tight core as well.
With it still being so early, is it kind of tough to find that balance of it's early in the season, this is why we're having those mistakes, more than it is like something to be concerned with going forward?
No, not really. I mean, we've worked since September to kind of nail all these things. So we have an idea of what's going on. And, I mean, it does play into the fact that it's early in the season. But at the end of the day, we're still expecting to play our best baseball every day and still build on that as we go throughout the season and play as best as we can at the end of it in June.
Stands looked a little different this year, a little more narrow. Just what were kind of the mechanical changes that you went through in the offseason?
Martyr figured out some stuff with guys being taller and guys being wider, and he decided that I should be a narrow guy and kind of practice that for a couple of weeks. Wanted to see how it felt, and I thought it felt really good. BP was good for those couple of weeks, so decided to stick with that and roll with it for season.
Do you stride out when there's 2 strikes to try to get a lower base?
Yeah, for 2 strikes for me, it's just compete mode. Just put the ball in play. Striking out, I kind of take a little bit of pride in that and try to keep those numbers down as much as possible. I just don't want pitchers to think they can beat me, so yeah, it's kind of like that.
The starters this last week were excellent. I think they allowed just 1 or 2 earned runs the entire week. Just how's going against those guys in the fall and the spring? How has that helped your game?
Going in, facing them in inter squads, we knew our staff was going to be really good. They had some days where they dominated us for sure, and it kind of sucks getting dominated, but it also is nice knowing that, like, hey, they're going to go out and get outs for us this year. I think they did a good job bringing in the right guys, and the guys who are returners did a good job of developing over the years. So I think our staff's going to do a really good job of taking us far this year.
Who's your toughest at-bat to go against?
I think Will Sanford probably. He's a real good guy. I mean, you only seen him once so far because he's a freshman, but you'll see throughout the year that he's going to do a lot of good things for us this year.
What makes him a difficult at-bat?
I can't give away secrets, man. You just got to see it, yeah.
With a guy like Jack Brooks who makes the transition to the outfield, what have you seen from him in his training to get comfortable with that position, and what makes him be a successful defensive outfielder in that transition?
I think the biggest thing about Jack is he's just an athlete. Like, you put Jack at any of the 9 positions, he's going to do what he's going to do, and he's going to make the play. One of the most athletic guys we have, and they've said that since he was a freshman here, so it's kind of nice that he's getting that opportunity to go out there and kind of show the world what he can do. And I'm really excited for him this year.
How are you and the team able to keep energy and momentum throughout the week, even though you guys don't play? You guys haven't played in 2 days. You guys don't play for 2 more days. How do you conserve energy and keep momentum for Friday?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough not playing the midweek. You know, you kind of want to play as much as you can, but I think that also kind of makes us more hungry going into the weekend just because it's been another extra day of practicing, and when we finally get to go out there and play, it's like, all right, like, let's go do what we need to do. So I think energy is a big thing that we have in this program. You hear our pitchers yelling throughout the entire game, like, you know, so I think we do a good job of, since the first day we come in here, the coaches kind of harp that energy and effort is a big thing that we have.
That's Oregon outfielder Jeff Hurd. The opening series against Toledo last weekend had 3 hits, a couple RBIs, and a home run, hoping to continue a strong start to the season for him. And strong start to the show. It's going to be a fun one. We're still hearing from Jason Wright and Colin Clark from Oregon baseball later on. Philly Chay from Oregon women's basketball comes in studio. Ari Long does as well. That's all ahead. Duck and Cider on a Friday from the Country Financial on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider in the Country Financial Studio. Happy to have you along with us on an insanely busy weekend in Duck sports once again, and that includes Oregon baseball in action today. Their first pitch coming up at 3:05 p.m. Jason Wright and Colin Clark both catching up with the media earlier this week, getting ready for their second series of the year with Rhode Island. Let's hear from Oregon pitcher Jason Wright.
You're listed at 6'9". How tall are you actually?
6'11". 6'11". I'll get that updated. Yeah.
What are the biggest things you're looking biggest steps you're looking to take week 1 to week 2?
Just keep throwing more strikes. Had 2 walks, but just keep attacking the zone, getting ahead in counts.
This is the first time we got to talk to you since you transferred here. Just what went into the decision A to hit the portal and B come to Oregon?
I mean, out of the portal, I really made a connection with the coaches, so that was the biggest thing. West Coast, stay close to family. But yeah, it's been great here, and they've been really supportive.
What was it like out there on the Cape? I know you only had whatever it was, just maybe 20 innings or something like that, but what was it like out there?
That was great. It was actually my first time playing summer ball, so it was a really cool experience. I've never really been that far from home for long, but was on 2 teams. It was great on both teams. Great team chemistry, and it was a really good time.
What's your relationship like with Hawksworth, and just how has that grown, and what are kind of the things that he's trying to teach into you this year?
Yeah, since day one, it's been full trust between me and him, full transparency. We're always working together to fix whatever needs to be fixed and stay on it. So it's been great.
Has he worked with someone at your height? I wonder if there's some like mechanical challenges to that or anything like that, or maybe tricks he might have picked up or had to pick up to work with someone with your length.
I'm not sure if he's ever worked with someone my height, but I mean, he's doing a great job. I feel good right now, and he's been really good. Yeah.
Pitch count in your start on Saturday, just where do you feel it, where have you been working through the fall and the spring? Was it always as a starter, or were you kind of going like multi-inning relief guy?
Yeah, I was a starter. It was just, we're just building up still, taking it easy. Just don't want to push anything too hard.
We went to the Cape, obviously you transferred to Oregon. What were some of the goals that you had in the offseason to get better and going into this year?
Not really like result-based goals. Like a personal goal was to gain weight. I've gained weight. But I'm just excited for the season and really just helping the team win. That's all I can ask for.
Where does the next few weeks go? What does experience tell you in terms of when you'll be able to really feel like you'll settle into a comfortable rhythm versus kind of building, working out some early season things? What's that process look like, do you think?
I feel pretty comfortable, honestly. I think it's just, new place, getting used to it, new field. But yeah, I feel pretty comfortable, and I'll continue to grow in that way.
On Saturday with you and Ian, clearly 2 different pitching styles out on the mound. How do you feel like you and Ian complement each other on the hill, pitching back-to-back like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. He did an amazing job, and I think we both just did our job. I went 3, he went 6. We both pounded strikes, and that's all. That's what our goal is: pound strikes, get ahead in counts. So, yeah.
You're sitting 93, 94. I think you topped to 96. Just how does that velocity help with your extension at your height?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to throw hard, but I would say it's not my focus. It's being in the zone, executing my pitches, throwing it where I want to throw it. So, yeah.
Your slider was like that 86, 87 range. Has it always been that hard, or has that been something you've been working on?
Yeah, I've always thrown a pretty firm slider, not a big movement one, kind of a cutter-ish thing, but yeah, it's always been my slider.
Do you feel like your pitch mix and your height and your extension, how do you feel like that helps you overall as a prospect and as a pitcher?
Yeah, I mean, definitely worked on a couple things as of recently, adding some new pitches, whatever it may be, but just working with Hawk, like whatever needs to be done gets done, and so yeah.
Hawk has said in previous interviews how he's a big proponent of the mental game on the mound. How has that conversation been, and how have you kind of adapted that into your start so far?
Yeah, he's talked a lot about that stuff. He's really good with that stuff. Just going out there and attacking, being confident, belief in yourself. We all believe in each other, so it's good to have a team behind you that truly believes in you.
Are you looking for some more innings this weekend, or is what we saw last weekend kind of the mark for the beginning of the season?
Just the mark for the beginning. We'll see what happens. Just building that pitch count up still. So yeah.
How are you on the basketball court?
Not very good. Not very good at all.
A valid question. The 6'11" Jason writes, he said it. He said, not a very good basketball player. But he's a good baseball player. We know that. Last Saturday, getting the start against Toledo, we went 3 innings of scoreless baseball, only allowing a couple of hits with 5 strikeouts and 2 walk batters. So the new Duck in his first year with the program, trying to improve here as this year goes along. Colin Clark, also from the mound, had an impressive showing last week on Saturday. He went 5 innings, didn't allow any runs, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts to 1 walked batter. And he also spoke with the media this week as one of those Oregon arms that has some high expectations this year.
I think that was your first career start, right?
Second. I had one last year, yeah.
First weekend start, though, just what were your emotions kind of getting out there on the mound?
Yeah, it was the first start at home, so it felt great, and emotions were happy. My dad was there, so just felt awesome.
Well, it was pretty clear with us last week that things were going to be pretty up in the air in terms of who was going to be in what roles. Did you have that on your mind at all going into the start? Just like, hey, I got to prove it right now. I'm sure you have that mentality to some extent all the time, but did that, his comments, anything like that really resonate with you guys?
Yeah. I would say personally, just whatever role I'm given, I'm happy with, and just competing. So yeah.
Through the fall and I guess the early spring, were you working as a starter? Were you working out of the pen, a multi-inning guy, or what was your transition into being a starter on week 1?
Yeah, I was working as a starter.
And then you get the Saturday first game again this weekend. What did that feel like to get it back-to-back starters?
Yeah, awesome. I'm excited, so it should be fun.
What were some of your goals in the offseason to try to improve upon from last year?
Gaining a little bit of velo and just pitch development, getting some weight. Yeah.
Who are some of the guys that you've been close with on the team, whether it's this year new guys or last year guys coming back? Just who are some of those guys that have helped you through your process?
Toby Twist, Ryan Featherston, both like pushing me and keeping me accountable throughout fall and right now. Yeah.
That freshman class last year you were a part of, got a lot of guys who got on the mound there. You mentioned 2 of them. Just what do you feel like the talent of your classes that could go on for the next couple of years here?
I feel like we're all leaders, and that's pretty rare, especially as a sophomore class, to be like kind of looked at as upperclassmen. So I'm excited. Yeah, excited for the year.
What are things you're looking to improve upon from this last start going into this Saturday?
Honestly, just competing just like last Saturday, and improving on just hitting my spots more, and yeah.
What have you seen from Will Sanford just throughout the fall, throughout the spring? And what do you make of his start, and what have you seen from him earlier?
Yeah, obviously great fastball, and honestly just really athletic, and he competes, and I think we all saw that last start, and he's just a competitor.
You mentioned Ryan and Toby keeping you accountable. What does that look like? In what ways does that accountability sort of manifest in them keeping you accountable?
Just in the weight room, always like being my squat partner and being like the rack partner, and on the field doing mobility with me, and that goes in all aspects.
What are some of the things you and Hawk have been working on specifically gearing you up to be a starter this year?
I would say same thing as last year, just competing in every aspect of pitching, and going after every guy's one pitch at a time.
All the starters were pretty great last week. How connected is that group, and how does that lift you guys up?
Yeah, I would say we're really connected. All of the guys we all share a certain bond with each other, and we're together almost, I would say, every day. So yeah, that bond's strong.
It's baseball season, going through the first series of the year. 3-1 record in the series over Toledo. Now they take on Rhode Island. That was Jason Wrights and Colin Clark, hearing from them here on Duck Insider. Oregon softball update. We have it up here. We've been watching. They're taking on San Diego State. They just beat Utah about a half hour ago. In the second inning, still scoreless, but there's runners on the corners and nobody out for the Ducks. So we'll try and keep you up to date. Hopefully Oregon softball can keep it going. When we come back, we hear from Oregon seniors center Philly Chay. It's senior day for Oregon women's basketball on Sunday against Rutgers, and we caught up with her in studio. That's next on Duck Insider from the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you, because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. So good to see you.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider on a Friday. A really busy weekend in Duck sports, and you know, with all these spring sports starting up, baseball and softball and beach volleyball, acro and tumbling, basketball season is kind of getting into the grind, or into the showcase, the highlight, right? March is right around the corner. Oregon women's basketball is coming off an insane game on Wednesday in Lincoln, Nebraska. 94-90 loss in overtime to the Cornhuskers, but a successful road trip for Oregon women's basketball as they beat Minnesota on Saturday. So the Ducks split another tough Big Ten road trip where they got off the bus and it's minus 10 degrees outside in Lincoln, Nebraska. Got the job done. They fly home, and now they have 2 regular season games left. It'll start Sunday against Rutgers. By the way, men's basketball has a big game tomorrow as well. They play 11 a.m. at Wisconsin. But an extra emotion behind that Sunday game for Oregon women's basketball as they take on Rutgers. The only player that's been here all 4 years, Philly Chay, a staple for this Oregon women's basketball program, and the senior center having a great season. We were lucky enough to have her in studio, and we caught up with her. Let's hear from Philly Chay, the Ducks senior, one of the best in the conference. Oregon senior center Philly Chay is in studio. Let's go. Thanks for coming in, Philly.
Of course.
Really appreciate it. It's cold out there, and there's snow on the ground. There's ice at this point, so we appreciate you braving it and coming over. You're coming in the studio.
Of course, anytime.
You know, look, there's a lot of new players on this team this year, but Duck fans know you. You've been here 4 years. You're a senior now. What's it like knowing this is it? It's your last year of college basketball.
I'm trying not to think about it. Obviously, a little emotional. Obviously, they know me since I was a freshman, and they've seen me kind of like blossom a little bit. So, yeah, it's good to know.
And early in the year, you were kind of limited with your minutes because you had an off-season knee procedure. So how do you feel now? Do you feel like you're almost back to 100%?
Oh, yeah. I think I'm back to 100% now, you know, feeling great. Obviously, when I started the season, I wasn't feeling that good, but, like, it took me a little bit to get back to where I am now, and I think at a good place.
Yeah. And this past summer, you had the opportunity to play and train with the Canadian senior national team. So around some Olympic-level players, what was that experience like this past summer?
Oh, man. It was so good. You know, just trying to learn from them. They're very welcoming. Got to travel a little bit, so it was just a nice summer in general.
Yeah. And now you come back this year, and one thing talking with head coach Kelly Graves about you and your game is he said he feels like your defense has taken a turn this year. You've been a lot better defensively, he feels like. Where do you feel like that comes from, and do you agree that you feel like you've taken a turn defensively?
And it came from Jairus. Yeah, you've been at our practices.
Oh, yeah.
Jairus kind of like saw a lot in us, and, you know, just trying to help me, telling me move my feet a lot. And, you know, when I started, it was a little bit hard, but, like, I'll say, yeah, I've gotten better at defense a little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jairus Freeman, new assistant coach this year. A lot of people giving her credit for, or at least a big assist in helping you guys be a lot better defensively.
Yeah.
What is it about her that ignites and inspires you guys to be a better defensive team?
Man, I feel like she's just herself. Definitely brings a lot of energy. As you know, every practice is just energetic. She just brings a lot in us. Yeah.
Yeah. And beyond defense, you've also, throughout your career, been a great rebounder. You have more than 1,000 career rebounds now. Only 6 Ducks ever have collected at least 1,000 career rebounds.
Wow.
What does that mean to you to get that accomplishment?
Man, I didn't even know about it.
Right?
Yeah, that's insane.
It's a lot of rebounds.
It is. I don't even know where it started from. I was like, I think it kind of started from my sophomore year. More rebounds just came to me, and then it just became like a thing now. So
yeah, and 4 years with Oregon, as you mentioned, and you don't see that always in college basketball now.
Yeah.
You see teammates around you transferring and players around the country transferring. What is it about Oregon and maybe about you that has made you be loyal to the program?
I would definitely say my coaches. And Brielle and Jody really like helped me through a lot. Obviously, the fans also like were a major part. I feel like they were there for me, like even like when I was struggling a little bit, like off the court and on the court. So I feel like I just kind of owed it to them to I love it here too. So
yeah, that's great, and I know Duck fans love you as well. So we all love it and appreciate it. What's it like playing for Kelly Graves? I know you have a close relationship with him after he started recruiting you in high school. What's your relationship like with him?
I feel like where we're at now, like we're very close. My freshman year, we kind of like, how do I explain it?
Did you butt heads?
A little bit.
Yeah?
A little bit. We kind of laugh about it now. It was kind of like, getting to know each other, and now like he knows me, I know him. So I feel like we've gone extremely close. Yeah.
And this past offseason, one of the players along with Peyton Scott he pointed to as to why you guys were able to bring in so many talented transfers. He said you played a big part in that. What was it like trying to help get people to come to Eugene to play for the Ducks?
Man, I mean, after our season last year, I spent like all my time up in their office, so I kind of like knew everything they were talking about. Obviously when recruits came to visit, I like did my best. We needed them. We needed all the players. And, right now we're really good. So I think I did my job.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for your efforts. Appreciate it. What was it like, though? I mean, were you a little bit nervous thinking, man, there's going to be a lot of new players. How's it going to go? Was there some uncertainty there?
Not really. I mean, after our season, he just told me to, like, trust the process. I knew they were talking about it. He just told me to, like, trust the process. He knows what he's doing, obviously, and that's what I did.
Yeah. When you think back, let's take a step back to thinking about you early in your career, and you walk on campus here in Eugene for the first time. If you had to give advice to your young self, what would it be?
Man, I would say being more outgoing and like speaking a lot. Cause when I first got here, my freshman year, I barely spoke to anyone, and I didn't like activities outside of basketball. So it was kind of like good to like be more engaging outside of basketball. Yeah.
And with basketball, Coach Graves said that he remembered watching your film and he kind of jokes about it now, and you're laughing as well. But he kind of poked fun and said she didn't really look like she knew what she was doing, and now you certainly do. Do you agree with him that if you watch that film back that you were?
Oh, we always laugh about it. I think in high school I was like doing a couple of drills, like finishing drills and stuff like that, and I really thought yeah, I'm doing this, man, I'm really good. And now we just watch it and I'm like, oh my goodness, that was just terrible.
That's amazing. And what age did you start playing basketball, though, to be fair?
So when we first got to Canada, I was like probably 12, so I would say end of my junior high school year, maybe like beginning of my high school year, maybe. Yeah.
And you mentioned moving to Canada. Your life started in Ghana. So what was childhood like there for you?
Oh, man. Ghana was great. I mean, I remember growing up, I always was like playing with the guys. like it was soccer. Never knew about basketball, so it's always soccer and like just little games like that. And I was there for like about 12 years of my life. So then we moved to Canada after.
Do you still play soccer? Are you still into soccer at all?
Yeah, you know, I got a little moves here and there, you know.
Well, I also know that you are a pretty big football fan, as in American football. I've seen you streaming big football games and Ducks games. So when did you start getting into football?
When I tell you my 2 years here, I knew nothing about football. I just, you know, went to football games because, you know, it was fun to be there. The energy was great. And then I just started getting into it after my sophomore year. And, like, I just tuned into every single game after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. That's that loyalty, too, that you talk about watching the Ducks. I want to talk about your family still in Ghana. Are you able to go back there? Would you like to go back to be able to visit people?
Ever since I got here, I haven't gotten like a chance to go back. I obviously would love to, but it's just kind of hard right now, you know, because I'm here during the season and then off season I'm with Canada basketball, so I like never got the chance to. But like, hopefully after college I get the chance to go, you know.
Yeah. Do they still watch your games and reach out to you?
Oh, yeah, they do. They do. I speak to them here and there every time, yeah.
Awesome. So there's a contingency of Duck fans in Ghana now as well?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's think and look forward now. Last year, there was coverage of it, and everybody talked about how cool it was. You were a student teacher for a kindergarten class.
I was.
Locally. And teaching is something you're still pursuing, right? That's what you want to do after hoops?
I remember, so I got here. I always knew growing up I wanted to do something with kids, like kids based. It was either going to be a teacher or like a social worker. And I just decided on education, and ever since then been doing a little bit of student teaching. Last year I went to, I think every Monday and Wednesday I was in like class with the kids, and it was fun.
And kindergartners can be a lot. I mean, that's tiring. What do you like about it?
I just feel like they had so much energy, and obviously it was like nice to see them like from the beginning of class to like the end of class, to see how much they've grown, like from not being able to write their names to like, you know, writing their names, you know, reading a little bit. So that was fun, yeah.
That's really cool. Have they been able to come out, some of your students, to your games?
Oh, yeah. I remember last year they came to my game, and, you know, every time I was in the huddle, all I could hear is like, Miss Philly. And I was like, you know, Kelly is trying to talk to me, and all I could hear is, you know, them screaming. And like, I was like, oh, my goodness, I'm trying to focus, guys.
Yes. I remember hearing that a few times. There's this group of 26-year-olds. Philly.
Yeah.
And it's your fan section, right?
Yep, I love it.
That's really cool. What about overall? What are some of the rest of the season and off the court? What are some on and off court goals you'd like to achieve?
Man, we have a little bit of conference game left. You know, we're trying to like do my best, push, and obviously NCAA is upcoming. We're just trying to do our best. I think a lot of people don't believe in us a little bit, so we just trying to show them like who we are and stuff like that. Obviously, senior night is coming soon. I'm not ready for that, so you know, we'll see.
What's gonna be going through your head on senior night?
A lot, you know. My last game at Matthew Knight, so it's just gonna be a little emotional, you know. Yeah.
I know there's gonna be a huge ovation. That's gonna be a really fun moment.
Yeah.
A fan favorite. Every time you sub out, every time you take the court, Duck fans love you.
I know, it's crazy.
Now, you talk about the end of the season here, and you guys wanting to finish strong. You haven't been able to play in the NCAA tournament the past couple years.
Yeah.
What would it mean for you in your last season to be able to get back into that NCAA tournament?
It would mean everything to me. Obviously, you know, new team, new people, and like I feel like they're just so great. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like we all work together, and I feel like we're gonna do really good.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, what do you like to do for fun off the court?
Ooh. Probably I love the arcade.
Okay.
I like going to the arcade, and usually just Netflix at home. Yeah, homebody a little bit. So.
What's your favorite games in the arcade?
Ooh, I like to do the jackpot stuff.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, winning tickets and stuff like that. So
I love that.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I, we do that all the time. We just
Try
go
your
to the
luck,
arcade.
man.
Yeah. What do
Yeah.
you like to buy with the tickets?
Oh, I remember like 2 days ago after we played Washington, Scotty and I went there and like we won like so many tickets, and we're just like, it's just our luck today. We just kept winning tickets, and we just went to like I got a speaker, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's fun.
Love it. You cleared the place out. Got the top
Yeah,
prize.
We did.
That's amazing. All right, so if you hit up a local arcade, you might just see Philly Chay
You
there.
might.
So that would be an honor. Philly, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah. Best of luck down the stretch. That's Oregon Star Center, Philly Chay. All right, thanks to Philly for taking the time to come in studio with us. As you might have guessed, we recorded that last week, and since then she's surpassed 1,000 career rebounds. Only 6 Duck players ever have at least 1,000 rebounds. And how about that? In this era of transfers and switching schools, Philly Chay, 4 years as a Duck. There's a reason players like that become fan favorites, and it's always loved to hear her story and her perspective on things with Senior Day coming up on Sunday. When we come back, we'll hear from a younger Duck. Oregon sophomore guard Ari Long joins the program. This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Back to the Country Financial Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio. Happy Friday, Duck Insider. Oregon softball update, 5-1. The Ducks lead San Diego State in the top of the third. I was looking off to my right here if you're watching at the TV. We have the game up on Flow Sports right now as the Ducks try and finish off a perfect day. They already got a win over Utah, looking to take care of business against San Diego State. Well, in our previous segment, we heard from Oregon women's basketball's Philly Chay, and now we'll hear from a younger Duck, the sophomore Ari Long, transferring over from Washington. She was a Husky. She's a Duck now. Don't worry. And as you hear in this conversation, it's always been her dream to be a Duck. So she's in the right place. Oregon sophomore guard Ari Long. Oregon sophomore guard Ari Long joins us in studio. Ari, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. A little cold in Eugene sometimes. You're from Southern California, and I know you spent a year in Seattle, obviously, with the Huskies. But what's it been like adjusting to this the new climate?
Yeah, I mean, it's cold. We saw some snow the other day. I was like, oh, my, I'm not really used to that. But it's cool. I like the sweats look anyway, so I'm like, It's okay.
Nice. Well, it seems like as the season's gone on, too, on the court, you're getting more and more comfortable and making a big impact. Do you feel like you've gotten more comfortable as this year's gone on?
Yeah, I think it's just all about, like, confidence, and I think my coaches and teammates do a good job of just, like, pushing me to, like, they're like, go be aggressive and shoot those shots. So I think, yeah, that just helps. And, yeah, I guess as the season goes, you just kind of get more of a feel every game you play. So
Where do you feel like has been the area that you've improved the most over the course of the season?
I think just my three-point shooting. I know at the beginning of the year it wasn't quite what I knew it could be, but I think these past couple of games I've been knocking them down a little bit better, and I know that's, what I was recruited here to do, so just really embodying that role.
And Kelly Graves bringing you over, he speaks so highly of you, believing in you, and obviously it's been great on the court, but you transfer over from Washington, where you certainly have the opportunity to go to some other schools. So what was it about Oregon that made you come here?
Yeah, so it's funny. Oregon was actually my dream school growing up. Like, I was always talking about Oregon and Nike University and all that, So it was just kind of crazy. I remember getting the call when I went into the portal from Coach Graves, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, he was such a legend in, me and my family's eyes, and I was just so grateful that he even took a chance on me, and yeah, it just kind of felt like the easy fit. I love their offensive play style, and just he's coached some of the greatest players, and I want to be coached by the best, so I knew to come here.
Yeah, so it's been like a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like growing up watching the Ducks, and now you put on Oregon uniform every day?
I know, it's so surreal. Like, sometimes when I'm just like running on that court, like in the games and stuff, I'm like, wow, like, this is crazy. But I think it's just a testament to all the work that we put in, and yeah, just all the support I've had, and it's like, it's just surreal. But it's like, I'm just so grateful to be here, honestly.
And Duck fans are happy you're able to make it here too and fulfill your dream. And these are opportunities for fans to get to know you. Recently, you played your old school, Washington. You were only there a year, but what was that like playing against your old teammates and coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy we won, first and foremost. Like, I was like, come on, guys. But, no, it was cool. I love those girls so much. And before the game, like, we all exchanged hugs and, talked and had a little, like, friendly, like, okay, get ready to take the L. I'm happy we were the ones that did not take the L, but and then after the game, just talking to them. I mean, those girls are great girls, and I loved them so much. So it was cool. It's like, I think that's what basketball is all about, just the relationships that you build. Like, at the end of the day, it's more than a game. So it was cool, and like, just nice to see that like those relationships were still there.
So you went to Valley View High School in Moreno Valley, California.
Yep.
Your mom was your coach, Leanne. Shout out to Leanne as your coach. And what was it like playing for your mom as the coach?
I loved it. I loved it so much. It was cool because, so obviously I have 3 older sisters. I grew up watching them being coached by her, because she's coached all of us right now. And my little sister, actually, she just played in her last ever high school game, like yesterday. So my mom's officially done coaching her daughters, which is crazy. But no, it's amazing. I mean, I think just obviously she's my mom, so we have that relationship, and then just that comfortability and just like being told what to do and then trying to go do it as best as I could. But yeah, I loved it. I mean, I miss it, and I look back and I'm like, wow, like what a special thing. Not many kids get to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned 5 sisters. So what were the pickup games in the backyard like? That must have got crazy.
Yeah, no, they were. We played a lot of knockout. A lot of, like, even now it's like conversation of like, who's the best shooter, who's the best this. I'm like, oh my gosh, a lot of hoopla. But no, yeah, it's fun. Definitely a competitive household for sure.
And they're all college basketball players, right?
Yeah, my older 3 sisters played, and then my little sister just committed to a Division II in Fresno, so super happy for her. And yeah, she completed I don't know what you call it, like all 5 of us went and we're going to play in college.
5 for 5.
Yeah, 5 for 5,
That's
exactly.
Good.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Well, and your dad, Jim, was the boys basketball head coach, or still is, at Valley View High School. So I guess, was he open for a boy at some point to be able to coach his son?
We always ask him that, and I don't know. Like, we're always like, Dad, did you want a boy? Did you want a boy? And he's always like, I mean, no, I'm happy. I mean, obviously you can't choose, but I think Mason, they were like, okay, if she's not a boy, then like we're done, we're giving up. So, and then she ended up being a girl. So yeah, he's a girl dad.
Yeah, that's amazing. And they're able to come up to games up here in Eugene and around the country?
Yeah. My mom comes up to a bunch of them. My sisters sometimes will come with her and my dad. But yeah, my mom makes pretty much all the home games. She's like always on a plane. I don't know how she does it, but she's back and forth coaching, hopping on a plane, teaching. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, a lot of support. So it's always nice. What
was your life like growing up in a family with all those sisters in Moreno Valley? Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. I love my sister so much. We're all so close to this day. Obviously, I was on the younger end, so I just kind of got to see them and learn from them and, just like take that and like apply it to my own life, especially on the basketball court. They've helped me so much just with my game. And, obviously they've all been through the collegiate level at different levels. So just kind of listening to them and their stories and their journeys and taking that and applying it to mine and using what I can. And yeah, just like, I'm just grateful. I think, we're just so close and it just makes everything so much fun.
Well, I'm not trying to start a rivalry or a beef or anything, but let's talk about your high school career. You finished as the career leader in your high school's history in points, three-pointers, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Do you still have all those, or did your younger sister break any of those?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I didn't even know that. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Your senior year, you averaged 35 points per game. Mm-hmm. So, green light.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do whatever I could to help my team win, and most of the time that was mostly scoring, so that's what I would do. It's funny because my older sister Taylor, she's the oldest, and she held the points record before me, so she scored like 2,050, I think, or something like that. Well, I know
pretty
it's
good.
that. Yeah, she was a scorer, man. And so I remember growing up, it was always like, who's going to break Taylor's record? Who's going to break Taylor's record? And I was like, okay, I'll be the one. I'll be the one to do it.
Well, and you ended up with more than 3,000. So.
Yeah. So I guess I surpassed her a little bit. Had to really put salt in the wound.
Yeah. But again, the entire family, you guys put up some serious numbers.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big accomplishment for the Long family.
Yeah.
You had 61 in a game in your high school. Was that senior year?
Yeah.
Can you remember anything from that game? What was that like?
Was
that just another game for you?
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't know. I think I was just probably in the zone, and, my teammates did a good job of feeding me the ball. And, yeah, I mean, if I was the one open, I would shoot it. So I probably was just hitting them that game or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah.
You had 2 other games with at least 50 points. So
yeah,
the scoring's there. What do you like to do off the court?
I like to hang out. I don't know. I like to go to the movies a lot. We have like $5 movies here in Eugene, so I like to go hit that. Just kind of do whatever. I golfed actually in high school, so me and Scotty have gone out a couple times and gone to the range and stuff. And yeah, just kind of like being active. I thrift a lot. I'm really into I probably don't look like it now, but I'm into like fashion and stuff like that a little bit. So yeah, just kind of passing the time. Me and my sister are like doing a little book club right now, so I guess I'm reading a little bit right now. But yeah.
Well-rounded.
Yeah.
So I know, like you said, Peyton Scott does golf a lot. So I'll ask her later. But who's a better golfer?
I would say her.
Yeah.
I would say her. Yeah. I would say she's more consistent. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. So what's your game like?
I would say I'm good with my irons.
Okay.
I'm usually pretty good with the driver, but sometimes it'll veer really bad to the right, and I'll lose the ball, and I'm like, oh, geez. But I just try to get as much distance as I can, and then chipping is not my thing. I'm like, chipping, that short game is not for me. I literally will putt from anywhere. I'll putt from, like, I won't even be near the green, and I'll be putting it.
Love hearing from Ari Long on her golf game. She just pulls out her putter in the middle of the fairway. Hey, do what you got to do. Very relatable. She has a great golf name, too, Ari Long. But love hearing from her and her perspective and her experience as a Duck this season. Oregon softball with a 5-1 lead in the top of the third over San Diego State. By the way, that entire conversation with Ari Long is available at Oregon WBB on X if you'd like to rehash that or watch that all the way through. When we come back, we'll give you the weekend schedule and finish up the show. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby. Better than I've been.
Wrapping up Duck Insider on a Friday from the Country Financial Studio. Let's get you the schedule here as we finish up the show. Just bear with me. We'll start with Friday. Who's in action? Oregon softball is playing right now against San Diego State. As I take a look at the latest score, it's still 5-1 in the third inning. The Ducks lead. Track and field is competing for the Ducks in Boston. Beach volleyball is starting up. They play at noon against University of Portland and Sacramento State. Women's tennis playing at UC Davis at 1:30 p.m. As for being at home, Ducks baseball plays at 3 p.m. 3:05 p.m. is the first pitch. 2:45 pregame show starts with Ryan Milano on the call. Saturday, Oregon men's basketball looking for their third straight win playing at Wisconsin. Softball plays again. Women's tennis, beach volleyball, women's lacrosse is at home. 2 p.m. The Ducks at Pape Field taking on Central Michigan. Acro and tumbling against number 1 Baylor. 4 p.m. at MKA. And then Sunday, 2 opportunities to watch the Ducks against Rhode Island and Rutgers. Wow, good show. That'll do it. Busy weekend for Director Scott Phillips. I'm Chris Clayton. Thanks for listening. Duck Insider from the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I